What do you want? You want to act. You want to step into a role that challenges you, that excites you, and that showcases your talent in front of an audience, whether it's on stage or on screen. And yes, you want to be paid for it too. But let's get specific. You don't just want any role. You want the right roles, the ones that resonate with you, the ones that push you creatively, and the ones that make you stand out. But here's the reality. Those roles don't just fall into your lap, especially when you're starting out in this business without an agent or a CV stacked with your experience. You can't always be picky. So how do you go after the roles you really want? How do you make yourself the obvious choice for the parts you're perfect for? Well, that's where the three options come into play. I call them the 3 C's, or C cubed. And these 3 ways will open up new opportunities for you to access the roles that truly suit you and your talent. Let's dive into them. The first C is the common way. Gaining access to these common roles is something that most actors out there are already familiar with. It's by applying to Spotlight, Mandy's, Star Now, Backstage, going on various social media sites that advertise for acting work, which more than likely might not pay you what you'd like, but can at least provide you with the experience and exposure to build further contacts within your industry. If you have an agent, then this also falls under the common way, whereby agents might provide you with work that isn't necessarily available on the platforms mentioned above. Now, these common methods, they're not bad. They're just what everyone else is doing. The issue is you're competing with thousands of other actors vying for the same roles, which makes it tough to stand out. The competition is fierce and your chances can be slim. So, what is the next option for getting roles? The second C is a creative way. That means you're going out there and creating your own roles. Yes, it might sound unusual, but now more than ever, actors are beginning to wise up to the idea of creating and even producing their own content in order to be recognized for what they're good at. And the best way to do that is by writing a play, shooting a short film, developing a web series, or even embarking on a full-length feature film. This is something I'm personally passionate about because I'm a producer myself, and I'm telling you, every actor should consider the route of creating their own material. By creating your own content, you're not just adding to your showreel, you're collaborating with other industry professionals, whether it's writers, directors, producers, and building a network that can lead to lifelong opportunities. So, what character have you always dreamed of playing? This is your chance to bring him or her to life. And guess what? You don't need to be an amazing writer to start. Team up with up-and-coming writers, directors, and producers. Pitch them your vision and get them excited to work with you. You'll not only be a creator of your own projects, but it will allow you to be the lead actor as well, and also be able to have a say on how the story should unfold. This is a route that is well worth considering. But if you still prefer to stick to the tried and tested and apply for the roles instead, then the third and final C is something that you should definitely consider. And that is the contrarian way. This one is bold, and it's definitely not for the faint of heart. The contrarian way means doing things differently, being daring, and not always following the traditional gaming rules of the industry. It's about thinking outside of the box and going after roles in ways that most actors would never consider. How? By directly reaching out to casting directors and production companies, finding out what projects are in development or in pre-production, and getting in on the action before anyone else does. Yes, it requires research, persistence, and a little bit of chutzpah, which is what I'll cover in level 4. But imagine this, discovering roles that aren't even advertised yet, that most actors don't even know exist. If you do your research, read on the trades, and keep your finger on the pulse of what's happening in the film, TV, and theatre world, you can position yourself as a go-to actor who's always in the know. It's finding the right way to approach the right people in order to gain access to meet up with the casting director and present yourself in the best possible light while leaving an indelible impression that even if you don't get the role you're after, you'll plant a seed in their minds for future opportunities. It's all about building relationships. Even if you don't land that particular role, you'll be on their radar, and trust me, that can make all the difference. I'll cover how to do exactly that in a later module, but for now, be aware that there are hundreds of roles that are available to consider and which aren't necessarily advertised in the regular acting channels discussed in the common way. Remember the 3 C's. They're your pathway to securing the roles you want. If you can master all 3, you'll be miles ahead of the competition. Acting Rebels, if you're serious about leveling up your acting career, don't just watch, act, and hit the subscribe and join the movement. Also, click the link below to jump into our Acting Rebel School community. It's packed with incredible benefits, exclusive content, amazing interviews, live Zoom chats, and accountability groups. And don't forget, there's a supportive network there to help you. It's fun, it's free, and it's where your next big role awaits. Let's get cracking.